joined by the head coach of juniors at Royal South Yarra Lawn Tennis Club, and a friend of mine for many years now, several years, and it's great to be back working with you once again, Mark. Mark Hlawaty, welcome to Royal South Yarra, and we're delighted to have some time with you this morning. Let's start by going a little bit back to the start, I guess, a little bit for you, Mark, and tell us about your journey in tennis, your journey in coaching, and why tennis has been the love of your life for such a long time now.
Yeah, well, good morning to all the members. It's been an integral part of my life for many years. I was back out there in the day when you wore the woolen vest, and my first racket was the old wooden Dunlop racket that I'm sure many have used in the past. But for me, it was a sport that I needed to play, or look for something as a kid, because I was playing soccer in the winter time and needed something for the summertime, and to fill in the days and the months. My parents are Italian, so soccer was born and bred into me, as well as garlic and salami. But now it was a time to find something to do in that summertime, and I got dragged kicking and screaming to the tennis court for the first time, and I remember that I didn't want to play, and I think I was around 13 years of age, but something bit me on the tennis court there, and it was that bug of what tennis is all about, and the enjoyment that it brings you, and the excitement and the challenge, and from that day forward, it's been the thing that has been the rock in my life. It's always been there, good times, bad times, fun times and horrible times. It's always been there, and it's allowed me to travel all around the world, meet a ton of different people and interesting people, and now for the last 20 odd years it's helped me to instill the love of this game to a whole new generation, for first time players of any age, right through to seasoned professionals who are on the tour. So it's been a blessing, and it's something that will always be a part of me, and I'm sure, like a lot of the members, there's just something about it that we love.
Fantastic. Going back a little bit, if there was anything in your playing days that you wanted to touch on in terms of highlights, and then perhaps just a little bit about how you started off on this coaching journey, and what it was about coaching specifically that appealed to you so much.
Well, my tennis career was tragically cut short by lack of ability. If only I had some more skills. But I stopped at a relatively young age, and at 18 years of age, I went and lived over in WA in Perth for 12 years. I got a coaching position over there. My brother was working over there in Perth at the time, was taking tennis lessons, and the coach needed a coach for the summer months, potentially to look long term. So I went over to Perth and ended up being my home for 12 years, but I still played competitively over there. We had a challenger every year in Perth that I played, so I kept an ATP ranking and played all the tournaments, the state grade pennants, and then by the age of 30, my relationship had ended, and I had everything that I owned basically in my backpack and my tennis rackets, and I decided, you know what, I want to go out there and see the world more, compete, travel, and just see what opportunities are out there. So I left Australia and just went back out on the circuit, and was probably the oldest rookie out there at 30, but I played for 5 years and traveled the world, and those opportunities and those experiences, no doubt brought me to where I am now. I was able to go to America, Europe, all through Europe, Canada, all through Asia, and and everywhere I went and everywhere I played, it was a goal of mine to try to see what opportunities were available, and that led me to coaching some pro players, helping out a bunch of Australian players, and then eventually finding my way back to Melbourne, and now here at RSY.
Fantastic. And coaching philosophy sounds like a little bit of a formal description, but if there's an opportunity for you to perhaps describe what coaching means to you and what you're most passionate about in coaching, and then give us a little bit more detail about some of your highlights of your coaching journey today.
Well, you're right with the word philosophy. It makes it sound very formal, and this is what you're going to stick to. But I think the things that are always with me when I teach is enjoyment, is fun, It's learning, and whatever level you're at, there's something to be gained and something to be learnt, and you don't have to look a specific way. Everyone's got their own individual style, and it's finding the right language to connect with the player, and then building that relationship. And this sport and this game, it's about relationships, and coaching is about that. So having that bond and that trust with the player, at whatever level they're at, because sometimes, you know, people are very self-conscious when they get out on the tennis court. They see, you know, taking tennis lessons as a sign of weakness or something's wrong, whereas it's actually, you know, an opportunity just to get better and to learn. And with any industry, you're always learning and you're always getting better. So yeah, definitely fun, enjoyment, you know, learning, and a safe place that, you know, we can build relationships. And because of coaching, my highlights have been, you know, I've been lucky to coach little 5-year-olds on their first times, which just gives me as much joy and excitement as, you know, watching Serena Williams win her 5th or 6th Aussie Open Grand Slam, you know, and I've been lucky to do that for the last 10 or so years, be in the camp with the Williams girls and see everything that they've done behind the scenes to win a slam, the pinnacle. And it's been an amazing, and those daily lessons that I learned from them are things that I impart on my students now. Other highlights, I was lucky enough to work in China for a couple of years with a young Chinese national who was competing in the national games, which was an amazing experience to really simplify your coaching, because language was obviously a challenge, and I've still only got 5 words that I know in Chinese. But having that whole experience about making sure that your information is very simple, easy to understand, and straight to the point, and that really helped my coaching and made me look at other ways to be able to instruct, and other ways to and other skills to use whilst on the coaching court. You know, I've seen a lot of Australian players do very well at tournaments, and you know, and just having a small little help and relationship with those people is really exciting. And now it's, you know, watching the kids run through the gates here at RSY because they want to run on the tennis court and do your tennis lessons. You know, that's just as exciting as anything I've done before.
Fantastic, it's a great answer. And on to RSY as a nice segue. So you've been here for a handful of months now, Mark, and what have been your observations? How are you finding Royal South Yarra as a club, and in your remit as head coach juniors? I'll ask you to forecast forward and look forward a little bit, maybe as a follow-up question in terms of where to from here. But what have you seen so far in your time at the club?
For me, walking through the gates, it's a standout, the history of this venue and the history of this club, and it's a proud club, and when you have the badge of RSY on your clothing, it really means something, and it comes with something, and you represent the club. So you know, the passion that the members have, and there's members that have been here for almost all of their life, and it's something special when you walk through the door and you can feel that, and you feel the history around this place. And for me, it's, you know, it's a really family-friendly environment. That it's a place where people come to connect, people come to improve their health and wellness and their well-being, to catch up with friends, and just to socialise. And you know, and we're lucky that tennis as a sport can bring people together like this. And you know, and it's something that we do is coach tennis to help people do this. It's an amazing thing. And you know, I look now, you know, looking after that junior section, I look at that and just see those young kids that are coming through the gates, that, you know, I'd love to see them here when they're grandparents, and you know, and they've got their kids down here playing as well, and to let them know about the importance of this club and what it means, and the history of this club, and the culture around it as well. And I think that's really important, you know, and I'd love to see, you know, those kids just stay here and make this a really safe, happy environment for all the youngsters to come, and also to compete. And then also, when, you know, if things work out the way we want it to, that we'll have someone playing at the Australian Open, competing, that has come through the pathway of every program through RSY, and you know, and that'll be the pinnacle. But yeah, for me, you know, and also looking forward to what we want to do with the kids here. we want to give them an opportunity to play at whatever level they're at. If they want to start competing a little bit more and playing some tournaments, or just playing for fun with their friends, there's going to be something here for them. We want to show these kids some experiences around the world, either throughout Australia, to take them away in groups, to take them to tennis tournaments, to play as a group, to bond as a group. Internationally, I'd love to do the same as well and take some kids away for some, international experiences, cultural experience and tennis experiences as well. And then to have a program for the 5-year-olds right through to the 18-year-olds, and know that they're going to be challenged, they're going to have fun, and they're going to want to come back the very next time and strap on the tennis shoes and get the racket out and want to play some more.
Thanks, Mark. I think that's been a fantastic insight into what I know is a very kind and generous and energetic person and coach. And thanks for sharing a little bit of your journey and why you love tennis and coaching so much with us this morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing everyone out on the courts real soon.